to get to 30. And I don't mean the age. I mean how to get your club to 30 members. That's what I want to talk about. I'm your area director. I have certain targets. One of them is to get this club and every other club in this area to 30 members. So I took this seriously. But first, where does this target of 30 members come from? If you look at the program description of this distinguished club program, usually it says 20 members. So where did this 30 come from? And why certain emphasis on that? It all happened in Athens 2 months ago, or 2.5 months ago. We had the district conference there, and there was the international president of Toastmasters, Mr. Balraj Arunasalam. And he gave his keynote and he mentioned it there, and he mentioned it in every possible occasion that he could. To have a successful club, you need 30 members. You need 30 members on your roster. Why? Because globally, the average in all Toastmaster club is that on every meeting, only 60% of your members are present. 60% of 30 is about 17, 18 members. That's exactly what you need to conduct a beautiful, fun, professional, supportive meeting that we Toastmasters should do. Which has 3 speeches, all the roles are filled, nobody is taking more than 1 role. That's why we need 30 members. That's the focus of our district, that's the focus of our area, and I don't care how many members you have, by the end of next year, June 2019, every club will have 30. I fully believe in that. How could we get there? I feel that there are 3 steps to sell basically anything. And in our club, we are selling ourselves to the potential guests. So there are 3-step process that I feel if we follow, we can reach to 30. And these steps are not just my own invention. This is coming from a lot of discussion with experienced Toastmasters in our clubs here in Wrocław, Toastmasters from all over Europe, as well as recently I did a survey where I got entries from 29 different countries. So I have a lot of information and I try to compile that into 3 simple steps that we have to do. Number 1, marketing. 100 years ago, you used to do marketing on newspapers because that's what everyone was reading. 30, 40 years ago, you used to do it on TV because that's what everyone was watching. Today, everyone is looking at their phones. They're looking at Facebook, they're looking at Twitter, they're looking at LinkedIn, they're looking at social media. So where the marketing needs to happen? Needs to happen on social media. Now we know that we create a Facebook event for all our club meetings. All of our clubs do that. But that's not enough. Facebook is tricky. Facebook is a bit annoying in this sense that creating an event does absolutely nothing for your marketing. Unless you invite as many people as possible. Unless you share it in every possible group. Unless you spam your friends so much that they come to you and beg you not to send them an invite again. That's how you get social media marketing. You have to do it in all possible channels that you can think of. You have to do it on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram. Do whatever you can to get noticed. Do whatever you can to be visible on someone's screen when they are going in the tram, when they're planning their day, when they're planning their week. So they can think, okay, I can go there. They mark your event interested, they get a notification, they come. Second step, and this is a tricky one. This happens when they're already here, and we have few guests here, as I understand today. So that's the challenge for us today, how to convert these guests, how to show them the value of Toastmasters. How can we show? How can we make the sale of Toastmasters? To sell anything, you need a product. And what is the product in our case? Meeting. It's the meeting. It's this whole meeting from very beginning. And what do I mean by very beginning? It's the very beginning when a person comes to this building. Do they know how to get to the room? Is it easy to follow there? When they come to the room, is someone welcoming them? Is agenda on every seat? Is the feedback slip, evaluation slips are present on every chair? Do they know what to do? All the roles are properly filled, but not only properly filled, but even prepared. Speeches are prepared, evaluators know what they are evaluating, they are giving written evaluation. Toastmasters know what he's doing, and today is a tough, challenging job because Pavel has to tackle 3 languages, and that's interesting, but also challenging for Pavel, so he had to prepare. And he had it. I could see that he prepared, so that's a job well done. but it has to be for each and every role. Once you have your meeting as amazing as possible, turning guests into members just becomes a matter of asking them and talking to them. If your meetings are terrible, nobody is going to come there. So you need to have professional, supportive meeting, but most importantly, you need to have them, you have fun. Nobody wants to work all day, 8 hours, and then come to another meeting for 2-3 hours and get bored. They will never come again. No way in hell can you come there, make them come back, unless they enjoy what is happening, unless they see value in coming here. And they can see that if we make it supportive as well as professional and fun. The third step, and this is very important. You have members. Let me ask you this question. Whenever you buy something new, do you buy it because you saw an ad? You read somewhere? Did you do research? Most of the case when we buy something new, we buy it because a friend told us about it. A friend told me that this shampoo is the best and great, so I go and try it out. A friend tells me that this coffee shop is great, so I go there and check out the coffee. When Toastmasters come to meetings and join clubs, usually it's because someone told them, a friend, a colleague, that this is a great club, great meetings, we have to go there. You have to go there because you will get value. Now, how can you make your members advertise your club? You can make them your stars. You can make them your ambassadors. You have to make them feel like they are the most important person in the whole club. Each and every member should feel that without them, the club cannot run. That's how you make them ambassadors. And it's not that hard. You have to recognize them. You have to recognize their achievements, recognize each and everything that they do for the club. If they take a role, if they complete some award, if they give a great speech, if they bring a lot of guests or bring members, all of those things can be a motivation for recognition. And I will give you an example that recently we did in the English club. They started to do Facebook Live interview, and there is one guy, he's from Sri Lanka. So they did a Facebook interview, and apparently he's super famous in Sri Lanka because next day we had 40-50 likes on the video and on the page and everything. None from Wrocław. Nobody from Wrocław liked it. No, so we didn't get any new guests, we didn't get any new marketing out of it, but that person is over the moon. So everyone that he knows in Wrocław, he's inviting to the meetings. And that's what we get out of that. We have to follow all these 3 steps. Marketing, amazing as much as possible. Second, close the sale, talk to guests, make your meetings as awesome as possible. And lastly, make your members your stars, your ambassadors, and they will bring your most needed members. So you can turn your club and get to that magic 30 number.